Greetings, this is the Ghetto Free Press, and I'm George Boston Ryan. Today is October 29th, 2014, and we just came from Twiggs County Courthouse, and Mayor Ann Whippaloo, the mayor of Gordon, the historic mayor, I may add, for she is the first black mayor of Gordon, she is the first black female of Gordon, and she is the first female, period, of Gordon, Georgia. She just won her case, and we were in the courtroom, and we are going to share what we recorded in that little small city, and we also will say to you at this juncture that in coming out of the courtroom, local TV station was there, and of course the plaintiff was asked for an interview from that TV station, and of course being a member of the press, as in all other TV stations normally does, but she said that if I was going to record, that she would not consent to an interview. And of course I think the TV station said we'll get one later. So I guess that means they will go to another location possibly and do an interview. And that's just fine with me. Once again, you who know me since 1975, you know the fairness of me, and you know where I am, and I'm not going into that. But what I will say to you, you know that the Ghetto Free Press, and as well as kvci.blogspot.com years ago, G.B.R.blogspot.com, kingkufu.blogspot.com, and a lot of other sites that I have put up over the years to address the real issues here in the state of Georgia. And so we want you to know that what you're about to see is unedited, unclipped. We just do it because it must be done. Once again, I'm George Boston Ryan, and please understand something. You really have to go to intimidate Jesus, for Jesus said, "And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set and make you free." And another scripture says, "Greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world." Now everything that the plaintiff said about to the news media, and another lady, I could call her name, I could identify her, but that's not the flavor of my nature, nor is the nature of my flavor. And so I'm not going to talk to the young white lady who made comments after the plaintiff in this case, because I don't go down that road. I leave all that for someone else. My thing is to do what I've always done since 1975 in civil rights, and that's to give you the truth. So I let them walk down that road. I know nothing about that road. The road I travel is the road of the prophets, priests, kings, and monks who had a greater calling on their lives for the betterment of man and mankind. And so we're going to leave it that way. And so all the people who want to criticize Brother George Boston Ryan, I'm not going to tell you to bring it on, because I know some of you could not take what is thrust upon me. And I've been under it for a long time, including the military. And all of it's been documented. And I could talk about it. But I don't talk about it because I don't want you in pain. I love you so much until I don't want you in pain. I want for you the same thing I want for myself and my family. That's what I want for you. And if you can't receive that, it's okay with me. You do what you must do. Because in the end, as it is written in the volume of sacred law, God say, wherever I find you, I will appoint your portion. That means that if you do wrong and you do wickedness, those things will follow you. And too often you get away and nothing will happen to you. But it will fall on your children, according to scriptures, into the third, fourth, and fifth generation. And I don't want those things that others thrust upon me to fall upon my children and grandchildren. And so I walk and I treat you the way I want you to treat me. So I'm asking you to forgive me if I don't strike out at you like you want me to strike out, because that's the flavor of your nature and the nature of your flavor. Now let's get ready for truth and let God, because in the end, right, truth and God gonna win anyway. As it is written, so shall it be done. The Ghetto Free Press. Greetings. This is the Ghetto Free Press, and I'm G.B.R. out of Mount Dawson, Georgia. I'm here in Twiggs County today because the mayor of Gordon, Georgia, is here and will be facing a judge based upon accusations that she calls terroristic threats to an individual in Gordon, Georgia. As you know, there is a long drawn-out controversy throughout the state of Georgia with newly elected black mayors. Many of us feel that this is a continuation of the intimidation, the weakening of the black vote, as well as perhaps voter suppression. Many believe that this is an asserted effort that is orchestrated at levels beyond the local level. Many of us say that because we have the documented records wherein we have problems in Quitman, Georgia, Meig, Georgia, Dawson, Georgia, Davisboro, Georgia, Lumpkin, Georgia, Warrenton, Georgia, and many other cities throughout the state of Georgia. And we are going to continue to report the news to you because you do have a right to know. Once again, this is the Ghetto Free Press. I'm George Boston Rhymes. I'm in Twiggs, Georgia, here at the at the Twiggs Courthouse. The court case would have normally been in Wilkinson County, but there was a conflict of interest with one of the judges. Once again, this long, drawn-out saga seems to be unending. I was only a few feet away when these alleged terroristic threats supposed to have taken place. And I just want to say to you today that we're going to do our best to give you the best because you deserve no less. If you remember the Quitman 10+2 in Brooks County, Georgia, 12 outstanding citizens was brought up on charges, and after 4 years, only one have had their day in court. The first trial was a mistrial of Miss Lula Smart. The second trial of Miss Lula Smart was a mistrial. The third trial, a judge and jury among her peers found her not guilty of 30 to 40 alleged voter violations dealing with absentee ballots. So we must ask ourselves today, just how much money are local governments willing to spend to circumvent the black vote and to keep blacks out of office in the state of Georgia? And this is not a figment of my imagination. This is something that has been highlighted over and over again with such civil rights organizations as National Action Network, G.B.R, Georgia Black Elected Officials, the Southern Christian Leadership Conference with Charles Steele, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, the NAACP, and other civil, human, and women rights organizations, and other people of goodwill. And so we don't know where all of this is going to end, but it seems like it's eating away at the fabric of this country, and more so since President Barack Obama became the 44th president of these United States of America. It seemed as if, though, Jim Crow rode back into town on a zebra, and many of you all know what Jim Crow represented. But we, the black African Americans and the white right people, we will not take one step backwards. We just won't do it. The reason we won't do it is because too many black, white, Germans, Japanese, and other Americans have given too much to see this country go back into the forest, into the deep woods of yesteryear, wherein so much blood and sacrifice have been shed to get where we are today. America cannot, will not, and will be impossible to continue in the 21st century as the hope of foreign nations of the world, such as Afghanistan, Pakistan, Uzbekistan, and other foreign nations of the world. when we see that our rights are fading, when we see black young men being murdered on the streets across America by members of law enforcement, and we now have it recorded. MSNBC Al Sharpton a month ago talked about how members of the KKK are not heavily in the police department. They are among the judges, and they are among other political circles here in the United States of America. Nobody could have brought this out better than Al Sharpton by having Klan's members to speak from their own mouths. Once again, this is the Ghetto Free Press. We want you to have the truth, because as Jesus said, and ye shall know the truth, and only the truth will set you free. Once again, the Ghetto Free Press in Twiggs, Georgia, doing what we do because it must be done. Once again, we over here because of Gordon, first elected black mayor, and Gordon, first female mayor, and Gordon, first black female mayor. Once again, the Ghetto Free Press. This is the attorney, Kendall, going to Marion Whippaloo into Twiggs County Courthouse. Today is October 29th, 2014. In the land of the free, in the home of the brave.
This is Twiggs County Magistrate Court, remaining session. I'm Judge Brown. I've been asked to preside over a three-month hearing. Wilson County magistrates have recused themselves, so I'll be the one hearing 3 months today. Judge, may I ask? Yes, sir. Is this hearing being recorded? You got it recorded. It is, sir. All right. Audio recorded. You, Mr. Wayne Kendall? Yes, sir. Okay, sir. All right. All right. We have Ms. Kelly Robinson. Yes, sir. Ms. Robinson, if you move right there. Sir. And Mayor Marianne Whippaloo. Come on. Okay. So we have a list of witnesses. Ms. Robinson, you have a April Blackman, I believe. And we got a notice from one of your witnesses this morning, Jody Ursher. She's in the hospital. I don't know if you knew it or not. Yes, sir. Okay. So she will be excluded from here. Is there any other witnesses we have? Okay. Mr. Kim, Ronald Jones, Sergeant Tommy Williams. Is that the only two witnesses?
That's correct. I don't see Mr. Jones. Sergeant Williams is here. And the scene.
So we have, I had a subpoena out, or Wilson County subpoena to Ronnie Jones. Ronnie Jones, courtroom. Ronnie Jones? You see Ronnie Jones? No one involved, Judge. Thank you. Tommy Williams. Okay. And Mr. Kennedy, you said you had one more?
There's a scene right here.
Scene?
S-E-N-G.
Okay. All right. At this time, I want to ask that Ms. Blackman, Ronnie Jones, if you're in the courtroom, Mr. Tommy Williams, Ms. Singh, if you would, all of you go out in the hall. We'll call you if we need you. Okay, this is a warrant application here. At this time, no warrant has been issued to anyone. The purpose of this hearing today is to conduct an inquiry into this case to see if there's any evidence that the warrant to be issued against anyone. The court cannot, will not compel the attendance of either the applicant or the accused. If you are the applicant and you are Ms. Blackman, if you decided not to proceed, you can make nothing happen. The case will be dismissed. You want to go on with it? Okay. The court will allow both the applicant and accused to present evidence, call and question witnesses, offer explanations for any conduct or events, and propose resolutions to this conflict, including but not limited to arrest warrants. Before commencing the testimony, I must advise both parties, and especially the accused, of certain constitutional rights. The accused must be aware that the applicant is seeking a warrant for your arrest. However, there's always a possibility that during the course of the hearing, the accused and witnesses may present evidence. If that evidence is sufficient to establish probable cause that the applicant has committed a criminal act, a criminal warrant could be issued for the applicant also. Neither the applicant nor the accused can be compelled to testify. Both of you have the right to remain silent. No one has to say or do anything that incriminates him or her or makes it appear that you're guilty of a crime. A recording is being made of this proceeding. Consequently, if any of the applicant or accused says or does anything that incriminates him or her, that information may be used against him in this hearing today, as well as any subsequent hearings or trials that may be the result of the findings of this court. The applicant and or accused may waive their right to remain silent and offer testimony if you so choose. Everyone who testifies will be placed under oath, and once they testify, they will be subject to cross-examination by the other party, and the court may also ask questions. Anyone who is offering testimony may stop answering questions at any time and invoke their right to remain silent. However, any refusal to answer questions may result in a rejection of any testimony already been given. What we're looking for today, the minimum standard in Georgia whereby a criminal warrant can be issued is called probable cause. That means if I pull someone off the street and explain the facts of the case to them, that they can say without a shadow of doubt they believe a crime had been committed, or know that a crime was not committed. That is the minimum standard by which a criminal warrant can be issued in Georgia. I've got to have probable cause, or there will be no more issue because the district attorney will not prosecute if I don't have probable cause. So I just want to explain that. Okay, if Ms. Robinson, if you would raise your right hand for me, swear the testimony about all the courts, the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God. Okay. Why are you coming today seeking a warrant for terroristic threats and acts?
We were outside of a city council meeting on 9/15. In the meeting, the mayor had tried to call me out about being professional or speaking out, and I actually wasn't the one speaking out, it was someone behind me. She called out, shouldn't I act more professional or whatever, and after the meeting was adjourned and over, I walked up to the desk and I said, where I work is not your concern. I'm here as a private citizen. I attend these meetings on my time as a private citizen. And then I walked out of the meeting, and everyone was just standing around. I think we were talking about what we were going to cook for supper that night. And she was saying what an embarrassment our city was. It was Mayberry. It was embarrassing. And I said, how embarrassed do you think we are that you're our mayor? And she said, the God in me won't let me knock her out. And then she turned and looked at me and said, because I really want to shoot her. Two separate videos on this DVD here. Two separate people. My two witnesses were recorded simultaneously. And I present this to you as evidence for you to view.
Okay.
And the video speaks for itself. There's really, my witnesses were just, if you had questions about the video, since I was not the one who actually recorded the video, that's why I had them, present. And, that's the video speaks for itself.
Mr. Cameron, any objection to the video?
I haven't seen the video.
You haven't seen it?
I haven't seen it. I would certainly object to it for lack of foundation. Person, she said she didn't record it. Somebody else apparently recorded it.
Not sure.
With two witnesses. And who were they?
April Blackman, who is present, and G.B.R, who has been admitted to the hospital, who is not present.
So I would object to the admission of that based on the fact that there's a lack of proper foundation. isn't it true that you said she addressed you in the meeting because somebody was speaking out and it wasn't you and it was somebody behind you? Is that right?
I did not address her back. So, but there was an exchange during the meeting. An exchange, she would have to address me and I would have to answer. During the meeting, I did not answer her. I waited until the meeting was adjourned.
Okay, did you not say anything during the meeting? Is that your testimony?
I don't recall.
You don't recall if you said anything?
I don't recall.
Mr. Kennedy, hold on one second. Is it Ronnie Jones? You might I see some people still coming in. Ronnie Jones in the courtroom. Okay, go ahead, sir.
Thank you.
That's been over a month ago, and I've been to several meetings since then, so I don't remember every little detail of everything that was said at every meeting.
I'm just asking you about your statement, not every little detail of everything you said. I don't know what you said.
I'm answering to the best of my ability.
So you don't remember saying it?
I don't recall during the meeting. I don't believe, I don't remember addressing her during the meeting. I don't.
Well, your testimony just now was that the mayor called you out at the meeting. What did she call you out about?
She said that I should act more professional because somebody was speaking out and it wasn't me, it was somebody behind me that was telling me how to act for.
Okay. And then after the meeting was over with, you approached the mayor in an aggressive manner, did you not?
I walked up towards her. There was a table and more than an arm's width between us. I'm not an aggressive person. I'm not aggressive at all. I just walked up to her and my voice may have been slightly elevated and I did say that, my place of employment is my new business. We have a policy that what I do on my own time is my own business and not yours. And then I walked out of the meeting on my own accord.
Well, you were aggressive, were you not? And your voice was elevated, was it not?
I stated that my voice was elevated. I don't believe that I was aggressive. I didn't run. I don't think that I was aggressive.
In fact, you were so aggressive that Lieutenant Hester and Sergeant Williams had to take you out of the meeting room. Is that not right?
I have video of the incident, sir, and I was not escorted out by a police officer. A police officer never touched me. I was never spoken to by a police officer. I walked out of that meeting on my own accord, and I do have video of that as well.
So do you dispute the fact that Sergeant Williams did in fact touch you and on your shoulder and lead you out of the room as well as Lieutenant Hester?
I do not remember any officer touching me.
Okay, did they not escort you out of the room?
I don't believe that they did, sir.
You don't remember Lieutenant Hester leading you out of the room where you were armed?
I have video of the incident. We can review it.
Okay. What did you tell the mayor when you went up to the table after the meeting was over?
What I previously stated.
Which was what?
That my place of employment is no one's business. What I do on my time is my business, not hers.
And why were you telling the mayor those things?
Because she's made several attempts on people's jobs. She's made 2 on mine to have me fired from my job. And I attend these meetings as a private citizen and, going after someone's job because they impose your political standards is, just unacceptable, especially when there's a policy in place.
So you motivated to seek this application for a warrant because you said the mayor had tried to get you fired twice from your job?
No, sir, that's not why I'm motivated. I was threatened. My motivation is accountability. Had I or any other citizen made this statement verbatim towards Mrs. Liu, we would be in jail right now.
So where were you standing when Mrs. Liu made the statement to you that you claimed on that video?
Right outside the city hall annex entrance.
How far
started saying what an embarrassment our town was. I'm from there. I live there. I'm proud of the city I live in. I mean, why would you want to preside over a town that you're embarrassed by? She was saying what an embarrassment our town was. She called it Mayberry.
So were you talking to her at any time during this?
I said,
after the meeting?
how embarrassed do you think you are that you're our mayor? That's,
So you were engaging her in a conversation, is that what your testimony is?
is that illegal?
Were you engaging her in a conversation, is that your testimony?
I asked the question, I did.
So you were standing close enough to her that she could hear you talking to her, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And how far away was that?
I said, sir, about from you to I.
So you were talking in the same tone of voice you're talking in right now?
I said, how embarrassed do you think we are that you're our mayor? It's on video. Allow it in.
Okay, so you weren't just having a discussion about supper, you were actually listening to her conversation.
We could hear. We were all within earshot of each other.
And she was standing there with some other people, is that right?
She was.
And she was having a conversation with those other people, right?
She was.
Okay. And you were listening to her conversation with the other people, is that right?
We were all within earshot.
So you weren't just talking about supper, you were actually listening to her conversation with the other people.
You couldn't help but hear it, sir.
Couldn't help it.
Yes, sir.
So you heard her having a conversation with these other people, and then you interjected into her conversation by telling her that how embarrassed you think we are to have you as our mayor. Is that correct?
I did.
So you were butting into her conversation.
How many times would you like for me to answer the same question?
So you were butting into her conversation.
I wasn't butting. I asked a question.
She was having a conversation with an entirely different group of people from the group of people that you were talking to.
Your Honor, is this badgering asking the same question over and over and over and over again? I've answered the question.
Just
I asked an
I have on
answer.
cross-examination.
I asked an answer.
Just answer that question.
So she was having a separate conversation with an entirely different group of people that you were involved with. And you then called out to her group and said what you just said you said with regards to how embarrassed we are to have you as our mayor. Is that right?
I asked the question. Yes, sir. Yes, I am.
Okay. All right. Now, when did this statement that you said the mayor made, when did it come back to you? Was it after you made that comment or before?
After.
After. Okay, and who was there recording the statement, if anybody, other than the two people that you just mentioned?
Oh, I'm not sure. Everyone's always recording because of there's several people been accused of saying things that they haven't done. People, like I said, making attempts to, get people fired. We're recording more for our own protection because so many things have been accused. People have been accused of things, and we record at all times outside of every city council meeting. The mayor's own videographer is always recorded as well for her protection. So we just do the same.
That's all the questions I have.
I'm going to call the first witness, April Black.
April Black. April Black.
You raise your hand. Testimony about all the truth, whole truth, but truth, so help you God. You would state your full name in court.
April Murphy Dawson.
Start by any questions you have to put in the form of a question to you.
Did you record the video outside the City Hall annex on 9/15? What day this year? Why were you recording?
I video anything I can video. There have been things that
During that meeting, did I ever address or speak out of turn to the mayor?
No.
Even when she addressed me, did I speak out of turn and speak back to her during that meeting?
No.
On the video that you have that shows the exchange afterwards, did I approach the mayor in an aggressive manner?
No.
Was I escorted out of that meeting by Sergeant, I'm sorry, I don't know his name, Sergeant or Officer Williams and Officer Hester?
No.
That's all the questions I have for this witness, Your Honor. Thank you, Ms. Blackman.
Ms. Black, where do you reside? Where do you live?
England.
So you're a resident of the city?
Yes.
Were you in the meeting on September 15th?
Yes.
Did Ms. Blackman ever address the mayor during that meeting? Excuse me, I'm sorry. Ms. Robinson ever addressed the mayor during that meeting?
No.
She did not. Where were you
During the
sitting?
meeting, no.
During the meeting? Where were you sitting in relationship to Mrs. Roberts?
Besides Ms. Robbins.
You sitting right next to her?
Well, actually, I was either right beside her or there was one person in between. So we were on the same road, right near each other.
Okay. Did you hear somebody shout out something that was sitting behind her to the mayor?
I did.
You did? Did you hear the mayor ever address Mrs. Robinson during the meeting?
I did.
You did? And what did the mayor say to Ms. Robinson?
She called her Miss Happy, 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 and told her that she was a state worker or a federal worker and that she should be ashamed of herself for acting that way, speaking out.
So was the mayor falsely accusing her of speaking out?
I didn't hear Ms. Robinson say anything.
Oh, okay. You didn't hear anybody behind her say anything either?
I did.
Okay. And you were sitting right next to her?
I was right here.
Okay.
There were people talking on and off this whole thing, but at that time, I don't remember anything against it right out of order.
Did you video the meeting? You did? How did you video it? With your cell phone? And did you observe Mrs. Robinson approach the mayor after the meeting?
Yes.
You did? Tell me about what you saw.
Ms. Robinson told the mayor that her place of employment is none of her business and that it did not matter where she worked and that her place of employment had a policy that whatever she did on her own time was on her own time.
Okay, did she approach the mayor in an aggressive manner?
No, she was across the table from her.
Did she raise her voice?
Well, she talked to other people. Everybody was standing up leaving the room. But she didn't cuss, she didn't, yell at her or anything like that.
Did you observe police officers intervening in between her and the mayor?
No.
You didn't see a police officer
I
escort?
saw a police officer walk out of the room. Ms. Robinson didn't know because Ms. Robinson went out on her own accord.
You didn't see a police officer escort out of the room? You walked outside with her, is that your testimony? And you met a group of people outside that sitting on the field with her, is that right?
Yes.
And who else was in that group of people?
There were several of us. Jody Ursher, one of the witnesses. I believe my mom was there, Deborah Murphy.
address the mayor about what she was saying inside of her own conversation. Is that correct?
That's correct, because the mayor made a point to make sure we heard. They were talking amongst themselves, and then it was clear all of a sudden that we were meant to hear the conversation.
How do you know that?
Because she was loud enough. You can hear the video. It's loud enough that we all heard it plain as day. It was meant for us to hear it.
That's your interpretation.
It's my interpretation, yes.
Okay. But you will admit that the mayor wasn't directly addressing your group, and Mrs. Robinson addressed her group or addressed the mayor.
Before she said that, no. Before she said what she said, she wasn't. When she said that about knocking her out, she was addressing us.
No, I'm talking about when the mayor was making a statement about how embarrassed she
Oh,
was.
no, she was telling the other lady, I'm not sure who she was. She was telling her how embarrassed everybody was to be here.
Okay. And then Mrs. Robinson addressed the mayor's group and the mayor.
She just asked her a question.
I'm just asking a question. All right. And what else did you see or hear?
The mayor said, that the God in me won't let me knock her out, but I really want you to.
And who was she addressing that to?
She looked at the lady and said, the God in me won't let me knock her out. And then she kind of turned and looking towards us and said, but I really want you to.
So she was talking to the lady that she was talking to.
And then she turned to Kelly and said, but I really want you to, kind of in the general, Kelly's direction.
And how do you know she was talking about Kelly?
Because Kelly had just asked her that question. And she turned and looked at Kelly.
How do you know she even heard what Kelly said?
Because I guess she started talking about it right after the fact.
Well, if she's having a conversation with one person, and somebody else is over here, from me to you talking, and they have my side on my back, and they saying something on another conversation, how do you know that I heard what that person said?
The conversation wasn't directed towards us at all. And then when Kelly said something to the mayor, then she said that. That's how I know that she was talking to Kelly. Because no other reason could she have just said that and looked at Kelly and said that.
So you're making an interpretation on this.
That's my interpretation.
Yeah, the mayor is in a group of people talking to a lady, you say, and she's saying something, and her back is to Kelly, or is she looking at Kelly?
Her back wasn't to Kelly. The other lady's back was not the mayor's.
So this other lady is standing in front of the mayor, and her back is to
They were
Kelly.
kind of side, like we could see their side. They were kind of turned towards the side.
Well, you said the other lady that the mayor was talking to, her back was to Kelly. Is that right?
Not really, not flat, they were kind of standing over here to the side talking to each other like this, and we were kind of cute. So when I'm looking at them, I can kind of see both of them talking.
So
From the side.
you see two people talking to each other, and as if I'm talking to the judge right here to my side, I'm talking to him, and you over here having a conversation, and somebody addresses me in your conversation. That's what you're saying. You're saying that you said something to Kelly, then Kelly basically repeated what you said, addressing it to the mayor who's standing this far away from you, and she's looking in another direction, not looking at you. She's looking this way, you're talking to her from the side, and you're assuming that she heard what this person said.
She did hear it. She heard it because she responded the way she did.
But you don't know for a fact that she heard it.
Well, I'm not the mayor, but I know from where I was standing that she heard what Kelly said. Kelly said it louder than I did, and Kelly said it where she could hear it, and she heard it.
You think?
That's my interpretation.
Okay. And that was the end of the story. Is there anything else?
Yeah, that was, when she said it, no.
Now,
I mean, I don't think I even videoed anymore.
have you or any
and I'd like to set this up, if you don't mind, Mr. Kendall, let's see what we're looking at. Now, like you're talking to me, and I want to see how this conversation actually took place, if y'all don't mind. Let's set this up, if you don't mind helping me with this.
No problem.
You and I will be
Okay.
the two having a conversation. How close?
We weren't very far. It was no further than here.
Would I be closer to the attorney here, Mr. Kendall?
Yeah, y'all were
Real close. And we're addressing each other real
There
close.
were several people. We were very close.
How close?
Our group was close to their group.
Were y'all as close as she is to me?
No.
You were
Maybe
further.
we.
Okay. When the statement was made, Mr. Ross, stated some of them I he that night where I work, it would be.
That was inside. That was inside the city council room. There was a table, the meeting table that the city council sits at. She stood up, maybe from here to this, from the table, and there was a table. She wasn't.
It is distance, pretty much. Now, was the mayor and the other lady that she was talking to, how close were they?
Outside.
When this statement
They were in the room.
in the group?
See, the operative statement, Judge, is that she's claiming it was terrorist threat was made outside of the council
Right.
chamber. After the meeting was over, people had adjourned outside of the city hall annex building where they had the meetings. And that's when this conversation occurred between Ms. Robinson and the mayor, was outside after the meeting. Then there was a previous conversation inside after the meeting where Mrs. Robinson approached the mayor. And there's nothing more than a table, like this table. The mayor's sitting there and Mrs. Robinson apparently approached from this side of the table.
I never threatened physical harm on her, sir.
We're not claiming that.
What I'm trying to see in my mind is where we are at, how close proximity everybody is.
Outside or inside?
When the statement was made by you, that you said that you don't need to know where I work, it's,
She was, okay, she
That
was probably
inside?
sitting,
That was inside.
she was probably sitting at a table like this, and I had gotten up from my seat, which was probably from the pew to this side of the table and walked, and I said, where I work is not your concern. Let's say if she was sitting there, she had pushed her chair up and was all the way back against the wall, because the meeting had adjourned at the time, and I was just standing across the table. I said, where I work is not your concern. And I'm the type of person, I talk with my hands, if you have my hands behind my back, I couldn't speak. So I was just like, where I work is not your concern. I'm here as a private citizen. I attend these meetings as a private citizen. You know, that's just a table length.
and at that time, the mayor didn't have anything to say to you at that.
She said, sheriff, and she tried to have me arrested and locked up. My thing is accountability. No one in Wilson County wants to hold her accountable for her actions. Had I have made the same statement to Mrs. Lou, she wanted to have me locked up for saying where I work is not your concern.
So she calls the sheriff. At that point, what happened?
I walked out of the meeting, I had said what I had to say, and I walked out.
So the sheriff did not come to you and
I said what I had to say, and I walked out. I mean, from the video that we have, the officer was walking up behind me. An officer never placed a hand on me that I can recall from the video that we have. I did not know that there was an officer behind me. I said what I had to say, and I walked out, and the meeting was over.
y'all went on that side?
Yes, sir. I waited until I tried to do it in a proper way, not disrespect and not disrupt the meeting, which was what she called me out for in the first place, which I did not do. Someone behind me or in the general vicinity. I tried to do it the correct way and wait until the meeting was adjourned and let her know that I'm here as a private citizen. My job does not have anything to do with this. Yes, and after I had said what I had to say, I walked out. The officer was walking behind me. I was never touched. I was never escorted out. We have video on her phone of the actual thing if you would like to see it. And also,
Get to that later.
my video.
Let's move on now to it. What I'm going to do is okay, I got that part. Let's move outside. Okay. You go outside. Tell me at that point where the people are standing.
Okay, let's do this.
Hold on, she's going to have to, she's got to do it. Ms. Black, okay, me and Mr. Kendall, we're talking. Are we on the outside of it? That's when all
see them kind of from the side. They're,
That distance apart.
right.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, Mr. Kimball is the mayor, and I'm the friend. We're standing here talking. So y'all were that far apart. Explain to me what was said and what the mayor did at this point.
I said to Kelly, you know, how embarrassed does she think we are? We would, and Kelly says, you know, agrees with me and says, how embarrassed do you think we are that you're our mayor? And she says it loud enough to the mayor.
But she was directing that at you, right?
She was asking the mayor. She was asking the
So
mayor. "How embarrassed do
she
you
had
think we
turned
are?"
around and looked at the mayor.
Right. Well, she was kind of, you know, she was kind of facing that way. She didn't have to turn or anything, but
Which way was the mayor facing at that point? She still talking
yeah, I
to
mean,
me?
they were in their contact, you know, in their little group. And then that got the mayor's attention. She looks our way, she looks at the lady and says, the God in me won't let me knock her out. And then she kind of says, better really want to shoot her. Kind of like throwing that
Did she
our way.
look directly at y'all? and
She
say-
looked our way when she said that second part about the God, you know, that I really want to shoot her.
How many people was out there in that?
There were a
group?
lot of people out there, but in our group of people, there were maybe 5 or 6.
In y'all's
that-
group?
Right.
How about her group or people around?
Maybe about the same, 5 or 6.
Were
Maybe all
this,
together.
was this being screened out, or how would you hear that if you got two separate
It
groups of
was-
people talking? Was it
It was
loud?
loud enough. It was very loud. It was, you can hear it on, I don't know if you've seen the video yet or not, but
No, I
it's,
haven't.
you can hear it on there. It's very clear.
Mr. Kimball, what you got on the?
One more question, Ms. Roberts. Ms. Roberts, when you got up here and demonstrated how you approach the mayor at the table, you say you talk with your hands, and you were doing like this. Were you doing like that when the mayor, when you were talking to the mayor, were you pointing at the mayor with your finger?
When you get a chance to.
When you approach the mayor inside?
I probably was, because I talk to man all the time, so.
That's all right.
Any more questions for your witness at this point? Anything else you'd like to ask her?
Are there any other instances that you know of the mayor or someone associated with the mayor calling people's jobs, trying to get them in trouble at their places of employment?
Yes, I've heard some instances.
Would you like to elaborate on that?
Yeah, I'm gonna object to this.
Yes, I agree with that, because that's not what we're here for. We discuss the cause from the room, not.
I apologize. I thought it was relevant because y'all keep bringing up how I approached
Yeah,
the
and
meeting
that's
saying
fine.
that wasn't my job. I apologize.
But, you find, what do you find? But if we let everything go back a year or two, we're going to hear all that, and we're here for proper policy here, so. Any further?
Not concerns,
Yes. Y'all going to call her in? No, I'm not. Okay.
not
You
really.
can say it here. That's right. Does that all your witnesses?
Yes, sir, that's
Okay,
it.
all right. Mr. Kimball, who would you like
Yes,
to
and
go?
this is Sergeant Tom Williams.
George Reed.
She was trying to explain to the mayor or say to the mayor who she worked for, how she worked. I really didn't get all what she was saying. I just saw her demeanor, and I just wanted to ask her, so to speak. In other words, I got up to escort her out of the meeting.
Okay, what did you actually touch her at all?
Yes, sir.
How did you touch her?
My left hand went to her back, left shoulder.
And what happened after that?
I saw Lieutenant Custer look in our direction, and he came to assist me to get her out of the meeting.
So who is Lieutenant Hester?
He's a lieutenant on the Board of Police Department.
Was he also present in the meeting?
Yes, sir.
And he also observed Mrs. Robinson approach the mayor's table and address his name?
I really don't know what he observed. I know that he observed me and me escorted her in some way, and he came over. So I don't really know whether he saw her at the time when she approached the table, from when he stood. But I knew when I sit, I saw how she approached the table.
Okay. Now, did you escort her out of the room?
Out of the building. Yes, sir.
Out of the building?
Right.
And did you say anything to her as you were escorting her out of the building?
No.
Okay. Did she say anything to you?
No.
Okay. Did you walk behind her
Yes, sir.
or on the side of her?
Behind.
Okay. Did she know you were walking behind her?
Yes.
How do you know that?
Because I touched her.
So you had your hand on her all the way out of the building?
No, once he came to assist, she just went on along with him as well as me being behind her.
Okay, did Lieutenant Hester touch her at all?
For what I could tell, he grabbed her by the wrist.
He grabbed her by the wrist
By the wrist, from what I could tell.
and walked out the door with her,
Right.
holding her wrist?
I don't know whether he was entirely, at that time, I don't know whether he was entirely holding the wrist, but I know he did grab her.
All right, now, did you walk outside with her?
Yeah, to walk outside.
Okay, and did you observe any other conversations between her and Mayor Luke?
No.
You did not?
No.
Okay. That's all I have.
Ms. Robinson, any questions?
Yes, sir. Just to be clear, you're saying that you placed a hand on me and physically escorted me out of the meeting?
I placed my hand on you, and then at that particular time, and Sergeant Lieutenant Hester came to assist. Once he came, you just went on the building.
Are you aware that we have video footage of the incident?
What incident?
Of me telling the mayor that, me approaching the mayor and me leaving the meeting of my own car. Are you aware that we have video footage of that shows that you never touched me, that you never escorted me out?
I'm not well in the video footage, no.
Okay, well, we do have that. You're saying that I approached the mayor in an aggressive manner. Can you describe to me how standing up and walking to someone and someone that talks, tell me what was aggressive. Of course, my voice was elevated because people were shuffling and leaving the meeting. Can you explain to me what was aggressive about how I approached the mayor? Like, what did you think was aggressive about me walking over to the table?
When I say you jumped up went toward the table. You jumped up like that. You didn't walk casually over. If you had walked casually over, I would have never said anything.
You didn't say anything.
I would have never did anything, in other words. Never did anything.
All right. And were you scheduled to be on duty that day, or did you come in especially for the meeting?
Schedule as in what?
Were you on your regular schedule as a police officer in the city of Gordon, or did you just come and report for the city council?
Okay, yeah, I ended up being on duty, yes.
Ended up? Was
Yeah.
that the plan?
I'm not certain as far as my schedule, might have been that I was scheduled, because what is happening now as far as the scheduling is that I sometimes will work overtime during that shift over 12. And sometimes it will coincide with the meetings.
Okay.
So,
When you are off duty, when you are not scheduled to be in your regular duties as a police officer in the city of Gordon, are you called in for overtime, especially to officiate or act as security in the role? Like, are you called in especially for the meetings?
now I'll say this. This is what I'll tell you. I think you're trying to ask me this. I was told by the chief of police that I was asked to be at those meetings.
By whom?
By the mayor. By
Okay.
the mayor.
So do you act as like a personal, I'm not really sure how to word this, Your Honor. Do you act as personal security for the mayor during these meetings? Are you called in, like normally when you would be off, you suit up and you come to work just for the city council meetings?
It's not personal, no. It's police action that I do. It's police work that I do.
Are you called in especially for these meetings when you would normally be off?
I'm not called in like all the time. I was just told, I just mentioned to you that I was told in a time of council meeting that is in session that I should be there.
So you are in addition to police officers that are regularly scheduled to be working that day?
I'm along with the police officers that are scheduled to be there. I'm along with it.
So on your off day, say you're off on the day that the city council meeting is scheduled, you're off. You don't have to work that day, that's one of your off days, but there's a city council meeting that day.
Right.
You don't have to work a regular, I'm not sure, it's what, 4 to 12, 12 to 8, 8 to 4. You're not working a regular shift, but there's a city council meeting that day. Do you suit up and go to that city council meeting as a police officer for the city board?
No, not just me go there, no. No. I just told you that I was told to be there. That's why I'm there.
So on an off day, if you are off and you do not have to work, I'm not sure you're understanding the question. Say you are off and do not have to work that day at all. You do not have to report for duty on the day of the city council meeting. You're off. You don't have a regular shift. Do you still put on your uniform and report to the city council meeting?
If there's a city council meeting in session, I was told to be there.
Okay, all right. Why isn't Officer Hester here? Why wasn't he asked to appear as a witness since he was the one that supposedly grabbed my wrist and escorted me out? Why wasn't he asked to be a witness?
I think they did that.
Okay, all right. I have no more questions, Your Honor. Thank you, Mr.
Just
Thank
one.
you.
Sergeant, you say you were told at the council, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And who told you to do it?
The chief of police.
And he is your boss, right?
He is no boss.
And you do what he says.
That's what he said.
One more question, Your Honor. And who did you say the chief of police told you, asked him to make sure you're at those meetings?
He said the mayor.
And the mayor is his boss, correct?
I don't know. Is she? I don't know. Is she?
I do believe that's how it works, but thank you, Officer Williams. I appreciate you.
Sorry, Lee, I got one question. You know, and we all have hearsay at the court. After it was all over with, I'm sure you spoke, was it Sergeant Hester, is that?
Right, Lieutenant.
Lieutenant.
Yeah.
What did he say after the meeting?
He didn't say anything. I do remember Ms. Robinson saying to him, I had to get that off my chest. I do remember her saying that to him. Once we got outside. And then I also remember her going back to the door of the building and say inside, I didn't get arrested. And left.
It's after it's over, and I know we're outside the building with these statements were supposedly made. Where in proximity were you and Lieutenant Hester at? Were y'all mingling around the crowd to make sure everything stayed in order? Were y'all inside the building at that point?
What
It was all over.
okay, we basically inside, wherever the crowd is, but basically inside or outside, just depending on where the crowd is.
Were you or Lieutenant Hester either one present outside when these statements were made between the mayor and Ms. Ross?
No, I mean, when she made her last statement as far as how they get arrested, I saw her go toward the parking lot. I was under the assumption she would clear it out. That's what I was under the assumption.
Do you know where Lieutenant Hester was at that time?
No, I would not think about it.
You know, I've got a question too at this point in time. I'm sorry. Is why Lieutenant Hester is not here tonight? I do have that question also. I don't know if there's another slide. We did not subpoena. We let what's the county subpoena witnesses. I want to interject. Do you feel like at this point you feel like Lieutenant Hester needs to be here? Do you feel like that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know Lieutenant Hester. All I know is that Sergeant Williams wrote up a report, an incident report, which I have a copy of here. There is a police incident report that was completed by, there was a police incident report that reports this, and it is done by Lieutenant Hester, and I think signed by the chief, who was Mr. Hall.
Yes, sir.
So, I just called Lieutenant Williams because he had first-hand information I really didn't know about to the extent that I now know until I talked to Lieutenant Williams last night, that Lieutenant Hester had actually come over and grabbed Mrs. Robinson by the wrist. I didn't know that until last night when I talked to Sergeant Williams about what actually happened in the incident.
I have one more question for Officer Williams. If I was escorted, if I was so aggressive and so threatened and escorted out of this meeting by 2 police officers, why wasn't I cleared from the property? Why wasn't I made sure that I was put in my car and cleared from the property so that this incident never even happened? Because you can do that, right? If I'm escorted out, if I'm removed, right, from the meeting, from the property. Would that not be proper procedure since I'm a threat, since I'm perceived as a threat? Would it not be proper procedure to make sure that I was in my vehicle and off of the property altogether if I was perceived as so threatening from the situation?
That is a good question, but at the time, it appeared to me that you escalated and you de-escalated. In other words, from the time you got from your chair toward where the mayor stood, you had said what you had to say. Once we got you out, it's like when you got outside, you said, I just had to get that off my chest. It's almost like somebody using the bathroom. Similar to that.
I don't recall saying that. I just don't understand, Your Honor, if I was perceived as this big threat, as this, they're police officers. They could have, and especially if it took 2 to remove me in a physical manner, one by my wrist and one on my arm. Why wasn't I, such a big threat, made sure that I was put in my vehicle and cleared from the area if I was, to perceive to be such a big threat at that time. I just think that I do believe that me telling the mayor what I said, that I did do it in a manner when the meeting was adjourned in the most proper manner that it could be done. I think that's trying to be blown up to use as justification for an act of physical violence, which there's never an excuse to threaten someone with physical violence. And like I said, I have that incident on video. If the court would like to view it, if Mr. Kendall has no objection, I have everything on video. And this is exactly why we video. Because things are said, things get misconstrued, people forget, myself included, I forget as well. But I have video of me telling the mayor, I admit that my voice was escalated, people were shuffling around, people were leaving, I was speaking above people. I have the threat on 2 separate simultaneous videos. Mr. Kendall doesn't object. All this can be, video doesn't lie. Video is video. we can just view the videos of, you know, the 3 separate videos, I'll be glad. You know, one is on Ms. Blackman's phone, and I didn't actually jump out of the chair. I believe the video will show that I stood up and pulled my pants up and looked over and then proceeded to walk. I mean, everything's been a little bit warmed up today. And, you know, my mission here, I have no legal training. This is a pre-warrant hearing. I'm not trying to turn this into a trial. The thing is, it's accountability. The mayor should be held to the same standard, if not a higher standard than a regular citizen. And if I was escorted and threatened with jail for saying where I work is not your concern, what would happen to me if I say, I really want to shoot you, Mayor? What would happen to me? It's accountability. No one in the county where we're from wants to hold her accountable. It's all on video. I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus for any reason. I was threatened. Had any other citizen made the same remark, they would be under the jail. It's accountability, sir. That's all it is. I felt threatened. I mean, who knows what can go on at this point? If she feels like she has to have personal security and no one's threatened her, and I'm threatened, I felt very threatened. And like I said, everything's on video. Everything's getting blown out of proportion. Just watch the video. It'll speak for itself.
Thank you. The same. The same. Yes, absolutely. State your name for the record, please, ma'am. Okay. Let's sing. You know Mayor Lou? How do you know her?
She's married to my mom.
Okay. All right. Now, you were present in the city of Warrenton on September 15th, 2014. Is that right? And where do you reside?
Riverdale, Georgia.
Okay, so you were visiting
My father.
your father in the city of Warrenton on September 15th.
I was there for 7 days.
For several days, okay. And you were present at a city council meeting that occurred, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, and do you remember going outside after the city council meeting and having a discussion and a group of people with Mayor Lou?
Yes.
Okay, tell me about that situation and what happened.
We were speaking about what was happening in Ferguson, Missouri. And it was just a conversation with family in general.
And who was in your group that was having this conversation?
Ms. Mary, Ms. Charlotte, Mr. George, and Mr. King,
Money Jones?
the attorney, Mr. King.
Okay. And were you at any time during that conversation, or anyone in your group during that particular time, ever speaking to anyone in the group that Mrs. Robinson was in?
No,
So the entire conversation that you guys had after that meeting was contained within your group, is that correct?
yes,
Okay. Did you hear any statements that Mrs. Robinson may have made to Mayor Lou?
no,
You did not?
no.
Okay. Did Mayor Lou ever address, to your knowledge, anyone that was in another group outside the group that you guys were in and having your conversation amongst yourselves? You never heard of a statement to anybody else?
Ms. Mary?
Ms. Mayor did.
No, just all of us.
And how long were you guys outside that meeting having this discussion?
did start after. After she said to God, and he won't let me knock her out. How we're doing this year. Did the conversation about Ferguson begin before that statement or after that statement? Are you sure it wasn't after? Before? That's all I have. Thank you, Ms. Meig.
Your Honor, that's all I have unless Mr. Jones ever showed up.
Mr. Jones is here.
He is here, okay. Well, I'd like to hear him. Well, sir. Any further, Ms. Ross, this week? Ms. Ross?
Sorry.
Any further?
No, sir, I
You
haven't.
have
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Jones, you're ready to reign, please do swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in the matter now in before this court will be true, Lord, yourself, God.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, just state your name for the record, please, sir.
Ronnie E. Jones,
Okay, Mr. Jones, what do you currently reside in terms of the county?
Monticello, Georgia.
Okay, are you a licensed attorney in the state of Georgia?
Yes, sir.
Were you previously in the employ of the city of Warrenton and the city attorney?
I have been acting as city attorney during approximately 4 or 5 years.
Okay. Were you present at the city council meeting in the city of Warrenton on September 15th, 2014?
Yes, sir.
Do you recall the aftermath of that meeting where a group of citizens were congregated outside of the city hall and when the meeting was held?
Yes, I did.
Were you had a conversation with a group of people, including Mayor Mary Lou, after that meeting outside the city hall?
Yes, after the meeting concluded as normal, the city council meetings, a lot of people go around and talk. And the mayor was in the group, and I was in the group with about maybe 6 individuals. And we were standing maybe about 3 feet from the door of the building, the city council meeting. And we were just talking. There was some other citizens that lived in the room. There was then another group, maybe about 4 or 5 feet away from where the mayor's group was. And they were talking amongst themselves. The mayor was talking to myself and the other people in our group. And he went on about 20, 25 minutes in this conversation. Because some people left the group that I was in, and some new people came over. But it was at least 5, 6 people there all the time that she was talking. And I know one of the things, when Mayor Lou's stepmother was seen, that was the first time some of us had met her. So we were asking her where she was from. Some people didn't believe that she was actually the daughter of Mr. Wood, who was Mayor Lou's husband. But all of us were just in a group, just general conversation.
Okay. Did you observe a group standing in close proximity that included Mrs. Kelly Robinson, who was seated here at the council table?
As I said, there was another group, probably 4 or 5 people there. I believe Ms. Robinson was in that group because she had been in the city council meeting. I think she was.
Had you observed her in the city council meeting?
Yeah, she had been in there.
And what did you observe about her in the city council?
As I recall, there was outbursts, some people speaking out of turn when they weren't supposed to be speaking because they weren't recognized by the mayor who was chairing the meeting. And there had been some statements made that they might have to leave the meeting because if they speak out of turn, then that disrupt the meeting, so they weren't going to allow it to continue. So I believe Ms. Robinson might have been asked. So look, if you don't stop speaking out of turn, you might be asked.
Did you observe her behavior after the meeting inside of the meeting room?
To be honest, I don't recall exactly what she may have said inside the meeting room. There's a lot of people who were leaving, so I'm not sure exactly what she may have did the meeting before leaving.
Okay. Now, did you, let's go back outside. You in this group with the mayor, 5 or 6 other people standing outside of the city hall annex where the meeting had been conducted. There's another group standing close proximity, 4 or 5 feet away. Did you hear anybody make a statement to the mayor concerning that how embarrassed, how do you think you feel, because we're embarrassed to have you as mayor or any other similar words?
You know what, I was speaking to the company today, I'm sorry to try to think about what exactly was said during that time. And, you know, because I didn't think that I would have to testify about it. So I'm not sure exactly what was said in terms of the actual words, but I do know that the people in the other group, which included, I think, Ms. Robinson, they were speaking a little bit louder than just to be within that group. And there was some provocative statements to suggest that, seemed to me they were trying to say something disparaging about me. What exactly was said, I just don't know.
So you don't remember hearing any words of that import as you testified that?
I cannot say exactly what it was.
So, do you have any idea if the mayor heard any provocative statements that were allegedly made to her from this other group that was standing somewhere in close proximity?
You know, the mayor was talking, most of the time, the mayor was talking, then other people in my group, some, like I said, were talking to the mayor's stepdaughter. They were discussing what was coming, just in general, what was coming up next in terms of their daily life. So whether the mayor heard what was said by the other group, I can't say. But I've never heard the mayor say anything to anybody in that group. Let me say that.
Right. And were you in that group the entire time that the mayor was outside having this discussion with the group?
Yeah, I was there the entire time because eventually when he left, I walked with the mayor and started breathing back to my car, which was part of the city hall. And so I was in the group the entire time. And I never heard the mayor direct any comments to Ms. Robinson's group. All the comments she was making were to the people in her group. And I never heard her respond to anything that was being said by Ms. Robinson.
I have no further questions.
Ms. Ross, questions for the attorney?
Ms. Jones, you said that you could hear people from my group saying disparaging comments towards the mayor.
I heard some provocative statements because your group was speaking a little louder than if you were just talking directly to people in the group.
So whether you can say, specifically, I understand that that's been a long time ago, I'm sure you can't recall specifically, but you do remember hearing, things being said from my group.
Yes, I did.
We were able to hear we were in close proximity, correct?
Yes.
We were able to hear the things that you all were saying, and you all were able to hear the things that we were saying, correct?
I cannot say exactly if you could hear what we were saying because we weren't talking to each other, but I did hear some things coming from you.
But you were. And about, in proximity to the other group, were we say, like, from me to you, maybe a little closer, maybe from me to the podium?
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you, Mr. Jones.
That's all I have.
I see.
I would like to summarize.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, this time I want to ask you, and I want to ask Ms. Ross, the actual tape that you have, is that included the phone tape that Ms. Blackman has too, or this is two separate recordings?
The two separate recordings of the incident outside are on this video, or on this DVD right here. The two separate recordings, one recorded by Ms. Blackman and one by Ms. Urshring, simultaneously recorded are on here. The incident on the inside, which I'm not really sure of the relevancy of what happened on the inside. Like, I'm not sure how that plays in. Like, that's a totally separate, like, what does me telling her that,
Well, you allege you didn't go in an aggressive manner. Mr. Kendall here has alleged that you did, and we have testimony that you said you did. So that's
but how is
not
it,
relevant.
isn't it two separate events though?
It is.
So,
But it all led up into the final, what I call the final act.
I guess my question is, and Mr. Palmer, I'm not being facetious, I don't have any legal training, this is all new to me, I'm just doing the best I can here, and I'm really trying to understand the process. So, I do maintain that I was not aggressive, I talk with my hands,
Right.
the video shows me pulling up pants, I didn't jump up and spring up, my voice was elevated, like Mr. Jones said, people were walking in and out, and, you know, the video recorder was closer to me. What difference does it make, which I maintain that I was not aggressive, I'm a loud, hand-talking person in everyday life. What difference does that make? I mean, does that
Show motive
for what?
to fabricate the story. You can't.
Oh, there's no fabrication, that's all.
Well, you testified that you didn't, and we have other witnesses says that you did. So if I'm gonna look at tapes, then I'm gonna look at all of it.
Okay, and I have no problem with that.
I want to see from A to Z, like I let everyone talk
Yes, sir.
and tell me what happened, but I want to see A to Z.
I have no problem, or, you know, I would have told you that we have the footage.
And I think Ms. Blackman testified it's on your phone, which
The video of me approaching her on the meeting is on her phone. The two simultaneous video recordings are on the DVD.
I'm not going to play it for open court, but I would like to ask you, Ms. Robinson and Mr. Kendall, if y'all would meet me here back, and we'll view it, and then I'll let you do a summarization, and you also can. We're going to look at that first, and then I'll probably get phone. We're going to adjourn the court for about 15 minutes here to see a little bit of the day.
That she brought over in Wilson County. provocative, more instigatory tactics, such as this. And here we are, playing out the drama that she has created amongst her and her small band of pirates who want to have this mayor locked up for simply talking amongst her friends and videotaping it and coming here to have you to say, oh, here's my video, we got it all on videotape, it all explains itself. We can show that she threatened us, we want to counsel nobody in Wilkinson County is going to hold her accountable. This woman was duly elected as a mayor. People of Gordon will hold her accountable. And she's tried to hold her accountable by her lawsuit. So we'll see how that plays out. There's no evidence and there's no probable cause here that this woman threatened her. She was there not being threatened. She was the one doing the threat. Your Honor, this should be dismissed. The district attorney won't prosecute.
Your Honor.
I can't let you say that. I think that you've already closed.
I'm not going to the lawsuit against her.
That has nothing to do with all of the protocols. As I said before we begin, I'm looking for protocols. Does that mean there's enough act cause a reasonable man to believe the crime has been committed? I'm glad we did view the tapes because I do not see any protocols where we want to issue terrorism threats and acts. It's not there. It's, you know, I could write a million more and there's not any evidence of protocols. The DA would not prosecute this case. So that's my ruling today. No protocols, and y'all free to go.
Make sure all these people can leave without problems. So I'm gonna be able to pick it and such. Right? Thanks.
Yeah, sorry. You couldn't sneak too much, George.
You're the reason we video, man.
You can call me if you want to, sir. How you doing? I'm Robert Murphy.
No, you don't.
No, you ain't.
Okay.
That was better than a sick call. Ready, Amy, you go over there?
And then you're going to just look at me the entire time? Your first and last name? The spelling of it?
Kendall.
And your title?
Term.
What happened here today? What were we here for?
Well, we were here for an application on a warrant that Ms. Kelly Robertson was seeking with regards to Mayor Lou as a result of a conversation that occurred on September 14th outside of the City Hall Annex at the City Board, where Ms. Robertson claimed that the mayor threatened her terroristic threat. That's why we were here.
Okay, and what was the outcome?
The outcome was that the judge found her claim to be baseless, that it does not exhibit probable cause for an arrest warrant. I mean, it's clear that this was a fabricated stunt on Mrs. Robinson's part to make this claim, complete with video and all the rest of the drama.
And why do you feel she had motive to do that?
Well, she's got motive like other people in Gordon that simply don't like the mayor. So they make up these incidents. They have not been successful in their attempt to have her removed from office. So they are resorting now to all of these other histrionics that we see played out here today.
Go ahead, Alexis. Sorry.
Okay, what were some of your main defenses for today's
or that she didn't prove her case. There was no evidence whatsoever contained in the videotape that she brought, the 2 videotapes that she brought to court, that showed that the mayor ever made any threats whatsoever toward her.
Okay.
It's as simple as that.
Anything else you'd like to add?
No, that's it.
I have one question for you. Where do you think this saga will end?
Well, it's going to end when we finally get this case dismissed that her and her cohorts have filed against the mayor seeking to have her removed from office.
Thank you very much. What would you like to say about the court case today?
Hi, my name's Gloria Tatum. I'm from Decatur, Georgia. I've been following this case for a couple of years now. And to me, it seems like that there was a massive G.B.R. investigation, a month-long trial of Lula Smart, and they're charging voter fraud, but it seems like that there's no crime here. So all of this money and resources has been spent for 4 years, and there's no crime. It's people who lost power, who are upset, and to me this is just another part of the voter suppression efforts going on nationwide, because certain entities don't want a lot of people voting, because when people turns out and vote, they don't win. So.
But one other closing thing. What do you think about, if you have comment on this, why do you think after 14 days, no news media, no TV, radio, why do you think it's like that?
The same reason so many other issues aren't reported. The news media is corporate owned and profit-driven by elite individuals, and this is not the only issue that's not reported by the media. There's a lot of issues not reported by the media. This is just another one of them, because the news is censored, and it's controlled, and it's corporate-owned, and
So the last thing, this is my last question, there we'll go. I know you got to run, but I want you to think short form. What are we to say to Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, and other nations of the world who are looking up to us, because we've always prided ourselves in freedom of speech, freedom of religion, etc., etc., etc.?
Do what we say, not what we do.
Thank you very much. That's very good. Thank you so much. Thank you.
It hurts me. My county commissioners, Mr. S.O. Jones, Mr. Joe Wingate, and Mr. Howard Lawson, find nothing wrong with this. They find nothing wrong with this. can one community endure to have the right to have our votes cast and counted for who we want to represent us?
Anybody else wants to bring up anything else?
Okay, what are your name?
Hi, I'm Jody Williams, and I'm with the People Agenda Criminal Justice Committee out of Atlanta, Georgia, headed up by Dr. Joseph Lowry.
Something took place in the courtroom that got your interest, and you want to share that with the American people?
Sure, I do. What has caught my attention is that some of the charges that they are charging Ms. Smart with have been taken off the books as long as 2 years ago, and they're charging her with crimes that are no longer on the books, that you can no longer charge someone with. So I really don't understand what this is all about. And then they've already dropped 7 of the charges because it has nothing to do with anything Ms. Smart did, which the agents who did the investigation found no crime that she committed. So another concern is, why are they wasting the taxpayers' money with this drawn-out court case which has no merits? So that was my interest today.
Okay, can you possibly, if you want to, share with me what is your analysis of why there's no news media? We're in the 14th day of this trial, and not one news media outlet, whether it's radio, television, or newspaper. Why do you think they're not here?
Well, there must be some unwritten something that these people don't want this widespread, any of this to get out, because this is how they're handling when blacks win elections. They're doing whatever it takes to have them removed, and then the governor would sign off on something like this. It is a shame. He should have done his investigation before signing off on something like this, but to me it's all about having blacks removed from office.
Do you think that by the state of Georgia, the G.B.R., the district attorney David Miller, and assistant attorney Brad Shealy, and along with the Secretary of State's office, do you believe that this whole saga with the Quitman 10+2 and all these charges that we are finding out now is almost like zero? Do you think that that will stop people from voting, or do you think that would energize people to vote more? What do you think? What's your opinion on that?
Well, my opinion is, and going back to when they went into the people's homes, knocked on the door with their badges and their guns in their holsters, telling them that they wanted to ask them some questions. One thing they did not let the people know, that if they didn't answer the questions, no harm would come to them. No arrest, no trouble would come to them. They didn't make that known when they approached the people. And as a citizen, a black citizen of the state of Georgia, it bothers me if someone approached me with a gun and a badge requesting that I do something. You know, if I didn't know that I didn't have to comply, I would try to comply even if I didn't want to, because I wouldn't want to be in any trouble. So I know older blacks, and most of these people were older blacks. They're frightened by law officials with guns that frightened them. So of course they was intimidated and threatened by the officers who knocked on their doors with no warning.
How did you take the repeated questions by the defense to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation agents about their training. Most of them had never done an absentee ballot investigation. Why do you think the state would send amateurs down to investigate something as serious at this dispensation as voting fraud along the lines of voting rights for black African Americans?
Well, I don't understand why they would send unexperienced people when the Secretary of State has their own agents and investigators who could have readily did this. And I do know by experience that one of the G.B.R. agents have in other cases threatened people, have even set them up, have even arrested people so that they could get information or intimidate them into giving false information. So I do know that firsthand. Miss Amy Braswell tactic, and one case in particular is the Reginald Rayshawn Shriver's case, a dog fighting case, which she picked up who was considered a state witness in a drunken state and intimidated him and badgered him into making false statements against another person who was in that trial.
Now, this is the Ghetto Free Press, and I wouldn't want you to make a statement that is not true. Now, what you just said, you know that's true?
I know that to be true. I was in on that particular case. Okay. I was acting as Mr. Shriver's advisor in this case.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other, you want to close us out with anything in particular?
I just want to tell the people, keep voting. Get out to vote. Make your voices heard so you'll have a stronger platform in any decision making in your county. So get out and vote.
All right, that's a good message. Once again, this is the Ghetto Free Press. George Boston Rhymes, doing what I do because somebody got to do it. Get ready, get ready, get ready. Madam Mayor, what did you just say about sending this tape where?
To the Attorney General's office, Sam Owens, in Atlanta, because it clearly, my rights have clearly been violated according to the Open Records Act and the Open Meetings Act and the Sunshine Law.
Okay, so let me say this before I show the next videos. I'm going to put this together. So what you're saying is that this is a special request to Georgia Attorney General, what's his name?
Sam Owens.
Are you an elected mayor of Meig by the voters of the people?
Yes, I am.
Did you have a majority vote?
Yes, I did.
What has happened to you since you became mayor? Was stumbling blocks or impediments put before you?
Yes, I've struggled even before I decided to run for mayor. And also, ever since I was elected, I was sworn in. They tried to remove me by the previous administration. Okay. Okay, no. One other thing. So, what impact has it had on your family? It has had a major impact on my family. My name has been scandalized, and I know that I'm a public official, and I know there are guidelines according to if you're a public official. There are some things that people are going to say. I have no problem with that. Where I have a problem at is when this form of government is a strong mayor, weak council form of government, and they've made a city manager divested my powers and vested them all in her when she's supposed to have the same qualifications as the mayor. The city manager is not a resident of the city of Meig. She's not a registered voter in the city of Meig. So that doesn't qualify her to take on the mayor's duties, according to our state charter. Okay, on the other video that we recorded following the council meeting the other night, one of your
brothers, I think his name Calvin, and another one I think told me his name was Edwards.
Yes.
And I think you received a trespass warning as well. Am I correct?
Yes.
I have heard what the guy named Jimmy something or
Jimmy Layton.
Jimmy Layton. He said that you had violated no law, and what was his position for this city of Meig? What was his position?
He used to be our city chief, our police chief, and he also used to be the city manager. And when he was city manager, he was made move from Pelham, Georgia, because they said that you have to be, in order to be a city manager, you have to live in the city of Meig and be a registered voter in the city of Meig.
Okay, so to make things short for the Georgia Attorney General, what would you say is the most impediment here in Meig, Georgia, in terms of what's standing in your way, or what person, or what group of people? Why did all this happen? Or what initiated it?
The reason this happened is they told me, the mayor pro tem told me, well, my duties are going to be taken because they didn't want me to do the same thing the previous mayor did, hiring and firing and overspending money. And he, whenever they made the city clerk, the city manager, divesting all my power, then she took over all the rights. And ever since then, she's befriended the council. One of the council members' husband is a supervisor of public works. And I think it's just a personal interest there, a conflict of interest. And the council is really, and I'm not sure if they voted for me, but I don't think they did. So this is the way that they're going to attack me. But one of the council members, Teal Kilpatrick, just told me that she don't like the way it's going. And she don't feel like I was warned or I've been notified in a timely manner, and that they're doing stuff that's not legally right according to our state charter.
When you first became mayor, did you have an office?
Yes, I did.
What happened to that office?
The city clerk, after being made city manager, well, actually she was city clerk at that time, she convinced the council and the city attorney that she was afraid of me. Assistant city clerk was afraid of me, and that I needed to be out of the office. And after that, my computer was taken. They threw me on the other side of the police station. My computer was taken. Then not too long after that, well, before that, the keys were taken. My keys to the city hall were taken. Then the office was taken. Then my computer was taken. I was put over on the other side. And now she decided that she wanted to take out a warrant on me. Actually, she didn't. The manager didn't do the warrant. She had the sergeant police to go down and take out a disorderly conduct warrant on me. And I asked them, on what grounds can the police take out a warrant on me for the city manager? I just don't understand that to this day. And they said that as long as he or she had witnesses, 2 or 3 witnesses, that they could do it. But the witnesses that they had on the paper were not around.
Okay. That's a shame.
But this is what's going on. This is the cooperation I get.
Mayor,
this is it.
we want to reinstate our chief. We want our chief back.
And that's why exactly, because I was going to ask that he be reinstated, and that's why I wanted the minutes amended. They know that I was going to do that. But let me tell y'all, on this thing right here, they didn't really want me coming up in here, because they got me for a criminal trespassing warning over there just because I was trying to listen to the minutes. And then Dorothy comes up in my face and put her folder up in my face really close. But nothing was done to her. But they get me for a criminal trespassing warning just because I'm trying to talk to the council members. And I can't help because Renee walks out every time I'm getting ready to say something. But you know, I can't be a mayor with this kind of cooperation. So I'm just gonna, I've just got to do what I got to do.
Can we get together, help raise some money, get you a private lawyer, or do something? Yeah, we need to do something. We'll come up with some money and get you a private lawyer.
I'm going in the morning. I definitely got to go in the morning. New business. As I stated, I want to amend the new business on the agenda. I'll make a motion to amend it. So y'all don't want to amend the minutes? Oh, no, what's my motion? I want to amend the minutes, the new business, because everything wasn't added. And I want to offer Officer Rawls a chance to approach the council about his termination. And also, there were some things, I had nothing to do, being the mayor, I had nothing to do with this agenda. I have no say-so in anything. So I want to amend the agenda with the new business so that I can have my say-so to the council, because whenever I go to the office to speak with Ms. DeMoga or any of the office staff, is that I'm hostile. I can't take care of business without Ms. Williams being up there. Like today, I've just been served a trespassing warning. It says on here that I can't even go to the city hall anymore, but it has this address as well. So had they had their way, I wouldn't have been in here either, I guess. But I just want to amend the minutes so that we can be heard today, because I think that we, as citizens and mayor, we need to be heard. So we have a motion. We have a second. This is the cooperation that I get on a daily basis with the council. I don't want to appear hostile, but I want the citizens to know this is how it's done every day. It's a shame that the mayor don't have no say-so in anything. Ms. Williams, everybody else can come up there to the city hall, can run around there. Dorothy can put her folder in my face today and nothing be done about it. But I'm giving a trespassing warning, only because I was trying to see the bill for today. But this is the cooperation that I get. Either it's no cooperation or silence. You know, I can't operate. I was elected by the people to do a work for the city. And I can't do anything. Every time I turn around, it's Mr. Mogul in my face. Because at first she was afraid of me until we made her city manager. Now she's all up in my face and walking all around me like she is not afraid of anything now. I cannot get anything done. I can't walk in the city hall without somebody saying, are you recording me? But from my understanding, the last council meeting we had, I was the one that was on the recorder, being taped for something I did at 4:30. But only thing I asked them to do today, LaVon, didn't I ask you for us to go and get some education so that we'll know how to govern by our charter, to do it the right way? I said, because we're gonna continue to look like fools. Ms. Dorothy Williams, Councilman Williams said, oh, you calling me a fool, you call us a fool. No, I wasn't. I'm just trying to get the city back on the right track. But how can I do it if I'm not given a chance? I'm not given not a chance, a step of a chance.
Mr. Mayor, I understand that, and that's been hashed about numerous times. Council, they voted, I think it's part of the charter, we've gone through all that. I think it does no good for you to try to rally the crowd here. I think we need to go along with it.
No, I'm not trying to rally the crowd. Okay. Well, okay, since this is part of the new business, this is what I'm talking about. This is an amended 2013 budget that wasn't even brought to my attention. I don't know anything about this budget. This budget that I've been given today is like totals that don't jive with the Pelham Banking Company, for one. Yes, it was an amended budget on 2013, but 2013, we had gotten a lot of money. Okay, this is what I want to ask. When are y'all going to start letting me in on some of the arrangements and some of the meetings? Because I've not been in a meeting yet.
So are y'all going to
how can I do anything if y'all don't allow me to?
What I'm saying is in the minutes, we said that night, the last meeting, we said
that was the after school program.
That's right.
They're talking about something
in the last meeting, we, the council, and you, we went together and said and voted on it. So, and it's down here for March the 12th. For you to go to that meeting, you did not go?
I spoke with the owner, to Mr. Donnell Green myself. But after we discussed that, then I haven't heard anything else about what we were going to do going forward.
But she said March the 12th for the meeting.
But we're right here.
It was in the minutes.
It was in the minutes.
It was in the minutes right here now. Look at it.
We discussed it.
Okay.
Anybody that wanted to go March 12th.
Oh, to the regulation in Thomasville. So the reason why it's out of my mind, because we had said we were going to do something with our kids here. But we've decided on something with Ms.
Nobody's
Davis.
decided on anything, like so.
Haven't decided on anything, they're just meeting and discussing all that.
Okay, so only thing we have now is for April the 12th, from 2 to 6, to have something at the park.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so can we get a tentative meeting so that I can be let in on it, of when the next recreation meeting is gonna be?
When Ms. T is gonna call me back and, once I'm done with stuff, I'm gonna call to set up that meeting. I don't have the answer for it. I can't tell you.
Okay.
And it looks as if though this is the mayor's office, and they seem to be.
This is the only place they get right now.
And they are changing a lot. Go ahead, brother Tim. What you? Go ahead.
Yeah, you know, they won't let her in the other offices. They throw her out over there.
Right.
And they put her in this place office over here. Now they're changing the locks on it. Now where she can't get in there.
Wow.
Now they canceled the meeting tonight.
Yeah.
At the last minute. And
have you ever seen anything like this before, man?
I never. You know they arrested the mayor, though.
Yeah, I heard about that.
For that disorderly conduct.
Yeah. What did she do? You know?
I don't know, but you know, disorderly conduct might be
anything. That's right. Anything.
It's a catch-22.
Right.
You know, unless you start cussing somebody or threatening, you know, violence or something, that's different. But Linda ain't done nothing. Linda did not do nothing.
Why you rating the state officials like the Secretary of State and the Attorney General and the governor? I mean, they got the same problems in Gordon, Georgia.
I don't know why we can't get no help. I tell you, I ain't never
seen nothing like this before.
Mr. Willie Charles, how you doing?
Yeah, he doing his job.
Don't take it personal, bro. We you know, we
how
understand.
you doing, Mr. Willie Charles?
That's right. I'm doing my job.
We know, we got you.
I hope you find a better one because you're a better man than this. You're a good guy. And you need to do that. You need to show you're a good man. You're much better than this, Mr. Willie Charles. Much better. I know it, but he's still a better man.
And we can't Governor Nathan Deal, Secretary of State Brian P. Kemp, Attorney General Sam Olens. I just can't understand. Nobody in the state of Georgia will come down. And what are they waiting? Are they waiting for people to get violent? It seems like that might be what they're waiting on.
I don't know what they're waiting on either.
What do you think about this? You ever seen this before? What do you think about this?
I've never seen this in my life.
But what do you think about the mayor being arrested?
I'm shocked. I'm appalled. I'm embarrassed for Meig. I love this place. I mean, this is a good place, and the people here are good.
But had you ever seen this before?
Never. And I've lived in the city majority of my life, and I still haven't seen it. Still haven't seen it. I'm very embarrassed for Meig. I'm embarrassed at the personnel, the people, and how they're putting people in bad positions.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Have to the city hall.
Who's the judge?
The same one that's always been, Mr. Judge Reed.
Oh,
So I need to go and get my things from there. Remove everything.
No, ma'am.
Can I go back in the city hall?
She can go back in the city hall as a citizen, not as a mayor.
Oh, so
you cannot. You can go to the city council meeting, but not as a mayor.
So oh, that's what I'm saying.
This is what this is all about.
This is the Ghetto Free Press. And we just understand that undoubtedly they saying she can not go back as mayor.
Hello, how you doing?
It seems as if though what they've been doing in Meig's is now applicable here in Gordon.
It today.
They say she can go to City Hall but not as mayor this evening. And they waited until right before the meeting tonight.
At 4:25 today.
Okay.
The Terry Edie, Freddie Dennis, Amanda Bates, and the
You call your attorney?
No, I'm gonna call.
Call him. Before you sign it, call your attorney.
Let me give you all this.